I'm now recording.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. And that's why we're here.
Well, that's why I wanted to do it like that.
Yeah, you waited until I looked down and you're just like, I'm just
I was
gonna
like,
hit the
psych.
record button.
Yeah.
You have too much power.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, all right. Everybody, welcome to number one. It's not gonna be fancy.
I'm sure they can already tell that.
Yep. It's gonna be raw. It's gonna be chafed.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of words. I'm saying words. That's what
Fair
we're here
enough.
for.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
So we've got a bunch of questions that we'll answer throughout this podcast. We're also going to talk a bit about our history as a band, how we came together. Definitely going to talk about our plans for the future, because I know people are dying to know, what else are you guys going to do? You've already done so much.
That's a bullshit lie.
Yeah, and
we're just gonna shoot the breeze.
I'm literally just going to point out that on our itinerary list, we have blabbing. That is something I'm going to tick off.
That's one thing that you and I are both fairly good at.
I'm going to give that a tick now, just so that I know we've already begun. It's ongoing. It's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, don't take it like it's done. It's not done.
For sure.
Yeah.
History. So let's do it this way. Jay, you have been in way more bands than I have.
A lot.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, obviously, anybody that listens to us knows what we sound like, you know. And this is actually going to answer one of the questions that was asked to me, and it was asked about our writing process. What comes first, like the lyrics and all that, or the music? Music does come first. Jay writes something brilliant, sends it to me.
I would not go that far, but
I would, sir. And then yeah, I add my vocal melody and the lyrics to it, and then that's what you get. So to take us back into our history, how did you get to the place that you're at now, where you're writing music the way you're writing it?
Oh, geez. You know what? I kind of like this. Maybe then I can ask you a question after.
Yeah.
And then
we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
All right. You answer, I'll drink.
So the question was basically, how did I get to where I'm at now with writing?
Yeah, like where did it start? What were your, what did you want to play like, and how did that bring you to what you're playing now?
Oh,
like
it's
what
really
you're writing now.
No, that's I think it has a lot to do with me not being able to play the music I originally wanted to play. Excuse me. Starting as a drummer, I played my first real band. The guitar player, Dave, he was like a super shredder. Like he was super, super good.
Yeah.
And we butt heads a lot. I think I was like 15, maybe 14 or 15 or something, and he was a year older than me.
That's young.
He was just super, super good, man. And I was a pretty good drummer at that point, I guess, in certain ways. We were more like a post-hardcore, like screamo,
like a Rise Against kind of thing, or even like
maybe like them mixed with like Alexisonfire style. It was kind of weird. I get like
got to throw that Canadian content in there. Eh?
I didn't really think about that, but yeah, sure. But then like my drumming, I wasn't getting any better playing with him.
Okay.
Right. But what I did take from that, it's funny. Like I've learned like one real key thing in each band that I played in. So I won't make a entire podcast about this, but I wanted to play guitar because I watched him play guitar, because I was like, wow, this guy's so good. I want to do that.
Cool.
So I asked to borrow one of his guitars, and I didn't know how to tune it. I didn't know tunings. I didn't know anything. I literally just, I remember actually, I called him a couple days after he lent me the guitar, and I'm like, hey, can you come back to the house and tune this guitar for me? Because I don't know how to do that.
Right.
And I can't remember if he did or not, but either way, I borrowed that guitar for a little bit. I was starting to understand a couple things. Self-taught drummer too, so it's not even like I really had any theory going into that.
Right.
And then yeah, so then that band kind of fell apart. He and I just kept butting heads and just different people. Um, then I don't remember what the next band was. I do remember I played in a band called Contrast for a little while, and
Okay.
that was with a female lead singer, and it was like more of like a pop rock.
Okay.
And at this point, I'd been playing a lot of metal. Like I learned to play drums to bands like Slipknot and just that whole new metal era
And now
type
you're
of thing.
playing, pop rock.
No, I was playing pop. Well, the band was. I wasn't.
Right.
I was playing super like, aggressive, progressive, which it led to me getting kind of the boot, right? Because
Really? You're too hardcore for them.
yeah, but you know what? Like, that's not a shot at them, man. Like that was like I shit the bed on that big
Well,
time,
no, I hear you.
right?
You
Like I
you couldn't
remember,
you
like
couldn't adjust.
at that point, at that point in my playing, I was just wanting to show off, right? So I it wasn't registering that, you know, like I was just trying to be too busy,
Yeah.
right? Doing too much stuff. And then after that, I played in a band that eventually had two names, but they were like, again, like post hardcore type stuff, screamo stuff. Um, Phoenix Rises was the first name,
That's a
and
cool name.
that was the first. That was the first band where it was like I was like, wow, this is good. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember I tried out and like on drums, and I got the gig fairly quickly because we were both what like we each each of us were looking for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't remember if there was two guitars or not, but guitar, bass, and we had I had been expelled from high school for the second time,
Nice.
and
Rock and roll.
I still took the bus to go and rehearse all day in Collingwood, where we had band practice. I literally just took the bus, woke up early, never woke up early to go to school, but I woke up early to.
So did your mom and dad think you were going to school or?
No,
Oh, okay. They knew.
no,
All
they
right.
knew. It got to a point where my mom would, instead of coming downstairs and waking me up, it was
Yeah.
coming downstairs and asking, like, "Are you going today or no?" Yeah, it was
Right.
it was pretty shitty. Like I was a shitty kid. But I got really good at drums, so that was pretty cool. And then,
Sum it all
but
up,
I
I
got
became a good drummer.
but I got so much better on drums because of this band. And it's funny because they were less technical than my guitar player Dave when
Okay.
I was 15. They were less technical, but they were like, that's where I learned songwriting, right? So that's what I took from that band. So I
Nice.
took the songwriting part from that band, that pop rock band. I took like um, drumming. It's not one shoe fits all, which is obvious now,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like when you're a kid showing off, something you don't really realize until it's taken from you, right?
It's true.
And it's funny, like those two bands might be my timeline is for sure messed up, but either way, that's what I learned from those two bands. um and then I later rejoined um Phoenix Rises. So I left Phoenix Rises. So that's right, I left Phoenix Rises to go to Contrast. That's what I did.
All right.
That's what I did. And that band was pretty pissed. The band was pretty pissed when I left. but it's just like I took what I needed to learn, which was the songwriting, and I moved on. That's
Right.
what I did. And then the contrast thing ended. And then I joined a band called Prophecy of Plagues. And
Prophecy of Plagues.
and it was like deathcore.
I was
And
gonna
it was
guess.
literally, yeah, it was literally like that next level of drumming for me. And that was, I think for me, that was my peak.
Like being technical or like
Yeah.
fast or like all of
All
it.
of it, all of it.
Yeah.
Like that was,
Machine gun fucking kicks and everything.
yeah, like I could never do really super fast kicks, but like my blast beats and just
When I
fast
met you, I
playing.
thought you were doing some pretty fast kicks, but then I also realized what I was comparing that to. So
Well, I could definitely play. I can do certain things. Like there's certain things I can and can't do, but um, that I don't really. If I know I can't do something, I don't really bother. If something's hard, it's not worth doing.
it's not worth trying.
But yeah, and then after Prophecy of Plagues, I joined or I formed In Season's Wake, which is when I met you.
Ah,
This was when I met you.
this one I
Um,
know. Yes. You guys were pretty fucking good.
we were
Like,
okay. Our singer wasn't very good. Um,
I'll give you that. He was all right. He was all right.
I mean, um, yeah. Um, I think he wanted
Was
to
it
be.
terrible? Because I mean, when we met, I mean, that's kind of the irony is your singer wasn't all that good and my drummer wasn't very good.
No.
So he had a sweet set of drums though.
Yes, he did.
He did.
But in Season's Wake, those I wrote the music for those songs.
Oh, I
Right.
didn't even know that.
So that's when I picked up a guitar and I was like, okay, let's write some music. And I bet you if you listen to um, the couple songs that we recorded, um, you may be able to hear some tendencies in that writing
I'd probably
that
pick them out. Yeah,
that translates to what we're doing now. But I
I'm
mean,
sure.
that's over a decade ago.
But it's a natural progression too, right?
So
I mean,
so that band, um, I learned what I took from that was it was my first time in a recording studio, right?
right.
Um, I there was a guy behind the board and did all the work, and I, I literally just played guitar and um,
So now, did he did he guide you through the process? Like, did he tell you do it again or this, that, or the other thing, or like,
oh yeah,
did you do that?
no, I did nothing other than play.
Cool.
Like I had the song written. I knew what I wanted to do.
So, would you
Um,
say you learned some of the producing skills that you have now through that first experience? Like, did you pick up on anything, or did you just literally go in and just be like, okay, I'll play, and just that was
No,
it?
I was so like wowed that I was in a recording studio for the first time. Like
Whoa.
nothing absorbed that.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Fair.
I remember being praised for my timing. Like I'd never played to a click track before, and I was able to do it,
Nice.
and it was pretty fun, and it was a good time. Um, it's funny though. So he's the guy that put me on the path to recording and producing and all that stuff.
Nice.
Right. So the
Okay.
first time I learned really nothing because I wasn't there to learn. I was there to
Get the job
experience.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second time around, I was like, okay. Right. And then I've always had a bit of an ear. So always knew what I wanted things to sound like. And I just wasn't getting that from him. From this producer, and it's not that he's a bad producer, he's incredible, but it's just what I was wanting to hear. It just comes down to preference, right? Like he's incredible, he makes a living at it, that's his job. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit him or anything, but plus, I mean, that first song we recorded, dude, was $700, man.
Ouch.
$700. Yeah. Yeah,
Back then too. Like,
we like went around and asked all of our friends to like give us money so we can go do it. I'm not kidding.
and they did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm actually trying to find Michelle Kitchen is her name.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find her because I owe her $400.
400. She gave you guys $400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane.
And I know that nobody else in the band paid her back because it was kind of like me and the singer were the ones who like were pushing to go and
right,
record. So I can't hold it against the other people who played on that song. But I forget where I was going with that. Oh yeah. So if Michelle Kitchen, if anyone knows where she is, fuck, I'll deliver that money tomorrow. I'm not kidding. I've been trying to find her, but I can't find her on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that.
I don't know where she is, but I know what her PO box is. If you want, I'll just give it to you and you can just send it to there.
Sure. That sounds good.
Sounds legit, right?
Sounds legit. But yeah, then yeah. After that, it was a couple more death metal bands.
Yeah.
And then my final band. Again, it was one band. It kind of evolved into a second band. So the first band was Rise with the Dead.
Okay.
And deathcore. I played guitar on that.
So was this your first serious move to a different instrument? Like, obviously, probably not the first time you play guitar, but was this the first time you were like, I'm the guitarist, not the drummer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And it was funny because at that point, I was so picky with my drummers. Like, I was just like, if this guy can't do, like, I want him to be better than me, which isn't saying a whole lot. I mean, there's lots of drummers out there that
I know what you mean, though.
You know what I mean? But
you have a certain standard of playing because it's what you did.
Yeah, like I wanted someone to come in and be like, "Oh shit, like I can't do what he's doing." So that's awesome.
That's why Phil Collins doesn't have drummers.
Yeah, yeah. I have my own opinions of that guy, but anyway. But no, but seriously though, yes, we found a drummer, Joey, and yeah, so Rise of the Dead was formed, and we played our first show, and I was so nervous because first time playing guitar in front of a crowd.
Right.
But we did pretty good, all considering. And then I wanted like the metalcore feel. So long story short, brought in a singer who was our melodic singer / bass player from Prophecy of Plagues.
Oh, cool.
Brought him in. It was basically Prophecy of Plagues, just metalcore and me playing guitar instead of drumming.
Just moved a bit of the puzzle pieces around, basically.
Kind of a couple different members, but and dude, that was like where that's what I wanted, 100% across the board. Except for the guy I brought in as a singer. That guy can kick rocks. Fuck that guy. But it was funny, like I brought him in and it was like I knew I didn't like him. I knew that he didn't like me, but we both knew that we could make music together in this band.
Oh, one of those scenarios.
It's funny, right? So there was a couple of times like he always had something to say about my recording because I recorded us back then. I listen back now. It's like the worst. How dare I hit the record button? But anyway, yeah, so that dude, our last, so we played quite a few shows, and it was kind of at the point where it was like, okay, if we like really commit to this, we can do something here. There's opportunities here for sure. Long story short, that didn't happen. I kind of walked away from it. I had met my wife at the time, and I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. So I had met my wife, and I kind of knew, as gushy as that sounds, I knew right off the hop that I was like, all right, well, this, like, she ain't going to stick around if I keep doing this. And, and we partied every weekend too, or after every show. Like, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
And, I didn't want to, I don't know. I started feeling like weird about it. I was like, I don't feel like this is me. But our last show, and then I'll stop rambling about this. You'll probably regret asking me this now, but
you wanted to talk.
I didn't want to talk. Other people just didn't want you to talk.
Anyway, what you wish for, fuckers.
Our last show was actually at the Nottawa Hall, of all places.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
And dude, like, so Mike, who screamed with you on Burn,
Burn, yeah.
he played guitar with me for that show. He was the second guitar
Okay.
player.
Yeah.
Um, that band's name was Disthrone. And
This throne, yeah. Okay. I know who they are.
yeah,
I've seen you've had stuff up on the wall that you did with them
back in the day.
back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, dude, that show, I felt like it was awesome because I was rocking out, playing guitar, and there was actually a crowd there, which was sick. And dude, they were singing the choruses. The crowd was singing the choruses, and that was
It's
like
the fucking
that
best, isn't it?
that like checked off the bucket list, man. I was like, we're at the Ottawa Hall, population like 8, right? Like there's more people in this venue that live in
13.
Ottawa.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And they're all singing the
That was before the
choruses.
subdivision.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, this is so sick. And then but after that show, it was like I was like, yeah, this is, oh Jesus, Murphy. Yeah, after that it was like, yeah, this is done. You know, you kind of just know. I was tired of fighting with the guy that I brought in. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really happy with my recordings. I wasn't happy with, I don't know. It was almost like I was waiting for that moment to happen since I
Yeah.
started playing music.
Like your moment of content.
Yeah. And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh man, I think this is it. I think I'm done. And I haven't been in a band since.
Right.
Like
Except for now.
I haven't played a live show since.
Live. So yeah. Okay. Fair.
So I was 21.
This is going to be good because when, like, I'm not cutting you off or anything, but just to kind of a little bit of context, when we rewind and I tell my story, it's going to be fucking mind blowing how much of a parallel we're going to end up on here. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty well done, man. I mean, it literally ended there. And then, you know, I kept recording, and, you know, I'd buy a guitar and a bass and I'd record a couple songs, try and get someone to sing on it.
Yeah.
Basically what I did with you.
Yeah.
Like the Stronger When You Fight EP.
Well, now let's back up because
no, but hear me out though. Hear me out though. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the Killswitch cover or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I'm just saying, you know, since I left that band, because when you and I did that Killswitch cover, I was like 19.
Oh, you hadn't even been in that last band yet.
That's right. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, that Stronger When You Fight EP, I was literally trying to do that in however it came to be, you know, literally since, you know, 21, 22 years old.
So it had been like a project in the work for years.
Well, I like, without really knowing it, because I'd write a song, record a song, and then, you know, over these last 10 years, I mean, I'm 30, maybe 34 this year. Ugh. You're way older though.
Easy.
But you know, like that 10 plus years of just writing, recording, scrapping, writing, recording. You know, it was literally just doing it. And then I would always say to Shan, I'd be like, what? I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Like, I'm not getting anything out of it. No one gives a shit. You know, I'm posting my songs up on SoundCloud and, like, you know, getting like 23 plays over the course of like 3 months. And it's like, oh, 20 of those are probably me. Right. I'm not even joking.
No, I hear you.
It's just discouraging. And, you know, and then, anyway, fast forward to 2018, the summer of, right? Is that when it was? 2018?
When we reconnected?
When I started showing you.
Yeah, it was 2018, the fall of 2018.
Yeah. So I'd literally sold all my music gear 5 times between my last band and when you and I started 12 years today. Because I just kept giving up. I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. I get discouraged.
You actually sold your drum kit after we reconnected, because the first time I came over to your house, I swear it was taken apart, but your drum kit, I swear, was in your basement.
Yeah, that drum
Like,
kit I bought
you were playing that in a cover band or something, weren't
I
you?
was going to, but we never ended. I ended up quitting.
Oh, I see.
I ended up quitting. That's like my ego too, eh? Like I that's the reason why I haven't done bands after this throne. That's another reason, because it's like I know what I want, and it's like, you know, with you it's a little different. I'm not just saying this because it's this conversation, but like we're on the same page, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm good at. I know what you're good at. We'll give each other some suggestions, or hey, why don't we try this? I mean, all that cliche bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I showed up to that cover band again, drumming, like that's where I'm confident, the most confident. So I load in, and it's like, what do you want to play? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, what's that song called? I believe it was a Guns N' Roses song or a Bon Jovi song. I can't remember.
Wanted Dead or Alive?
No.
So I remember you telling me about a Bon Jovi song you guys were going to play.
Yeah.
Blaze of Glory?
No.
Okay. Living on a Prayer?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just knew that my style of playing, because by the way, I've gotten super fucking lazy as a drummer. Like I don't
Right.
I can't. It'd be a joke to watch me try and play my old shit. I just don't have that in me anymore. Like
Right.
I want basically what 12 Years Today style drumming is, right? Just
Yeah.
groove and feel and just straight. I don't care about going all over the place. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. But anyway, I just knew that I could impress them with that song, and we played it, and I knew, I was like, not to toot my own horn here, I'm gonna sound like a real dick to people who's listening here, but I just know that I did really well.
Okay.
I did really well. I was super tight with the bass player, and the vocalist, she was super high in herself. It's funny because I'm saying that as I'm talking about how good of a drummer I am, but the thing is like she was super high in herself, but she wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then what got me is she was like, like after I played, I felt so good about this song, and I'm like, I know I got the job. It's fine.
Right.
But then she was like cutting me up. She was like, yeah, you need to play quieter. I'm like, we're in a rock band. And
Yeah.
she's just like, yeah, well, it's hard for all of us to hear. I'm like, then turn
Wow.
up.
Turn your
Turn up.
fucking hearing
Like
aid
I'm
up,
not like
Grandma.
I'm not bashing these things. Like I'm hitting them.
Oh yeah, but
Anyway, as soon as she said that, I was like, I'm out. Like I knew in my head, I was like, I'm out. And
that's a red flag right there.
yeah, and it's just like, and then another thing, like they kept saying, oh yeah, our bass player, I forget the bass player's name. Let's just, for conversation's sake, call him Paul.
Okay.
And they kept saying, oh yeah, Paul, he's a drummer too, and the real test is he's gonna test you. We're just warning you. We're just warning you, like he's gonna test you. And I'm like, oh, like fuck off. So anyway,
I don't even know how to put that into words, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
it's just irritating. That's the word. It's fucking irritating.
Yeah.
And
it's like, you're those fucking people. Okay.
Yeah. It's like guys, like the one guy, when I first met him, he's a guitar player, good guitar player, but he got like a big old beer gut on him, long hair that if he took clippers to his hair, that hair ain't coming back, buddy. Like it's gone.
That's why it's still there.
And I know that because I had that problem.
Just trying to hang on to the magic.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, and as I'm playing, like later on in that evening, I'm looking at him. I'm like, there's no way this guy doesn't work at a pawn shop. He just looks like that guy who just tried to be in a band his whole life. I sound really mean right now, but it's whatever.
No, it's cool because as soon as you said that, I got Sublime in my head. So that was awesome.
It's just like, like comic book guy, but just music. And sure enough, he works at a pawn shop.
No way.
It was the best. It was the best. So I had to act surprised. Right.
Oh my God. What was that thing they used to say? I guess it wasn't a pawn shop, but pawn shops were involved a lot. Remember Storage Wars or whatever the fuck that was
Mm.
called? What was that big catchphrase that guy used to say all the time, and everybody was saying it?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I remember that
That's
guy.
awesome.
But anyway, that's pretty well it, man. That's my so I guess moral of the story is started off strong and it was just a mess for the last 12 years
Excellent.
until I was
Until I met you.
I believe I was actually hammered at my buddy's bachelor party. And that's what it was.
What? When?
When Shane was talking to you in the parking lot.
It was your bachelor party.
Hammered, see?
It was your bachelor party.
Yes, it was.
I was out on a date night with my wife, and yeah, Shane, our friend Shane, spotted me in the parking lot, just came over to say hi and told me what he was doing. I was just like, holy fuck, Jay, I haven't seen him in years, talked to him in years, or whatever. And so I guess he came and saw you and good old BP there, and they ended up coming back out and telling me like that you were like fucking like thrilled. You're like James Burnett's out there. Like,
dude, I shit my pants, man.
you're like,
Not
give him my number. And
dude, it was funny because it's like I don't think I didn't really even have anything in my head. All I knew is that I needed to connect. I need to make that connection again. Right.
You were probably in a place where like you were writing music and needed a singer, I guess, or whatever, and you're probably frustrated as fuck over it.
Ooh.
And then like a gift from the gods.
Talk about ego.
You know, I was going to talk about your food. Your food came and it made you forget all about it.
Tables have turned.
How egotistical do you think I am?
Just as much as me.
All right, is it my turn?
Sure. I don't have to ask a question, right? You can just
I'll just repeat the question, but for me,
hopefully
mine's really easy.
That's good. Hopefully it's nowhere near as long as mine.
No, mine's really easy.
I actually might have to edit. I might have to figure out how to edit this after. Just
maybe that's good shit, man. That's it's insight. People are gonna know you now.
Anyway. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I've been in 4 bands.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've only been in 4 bands.
I thought you were in less.
There was unless. No, I have been in 4 too serious. Let's call it that way. And it's funny how the level increases. So my first band was in high school. I was probably 17.
Was that in like the 60s?
70. Fuck you, man.
That was ignorant.
It was the late 90s, like 99.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I probably shouldn't even have still been in high school, but I was a fuck up too. So that was like side note. I was actually really fucking smart. I just hated going there. So every time I would fail something, it was as a result of I was never there. So I literally could not do enough work to get a good mark.
100% me too. That's
anyway. So that being said, so this one guy, he kind of had a band going, and he was from Stainer, which I know a lot of people listening to this, they're not going to know. We got a situation.
Nope.
All right. A lot of people watching this aren't going to know what Stainer is, but like you and I come from Wasaga Beach, which is a small town, and we're fucking Toronto compared to Stainer, and Stainer smells like poo. So anyway, this guy, he had gone to high school there and had come to Collingwood to go.
You know what though? I'm just gonna people might be like, "Oh wow, he just said something like a town smells like poo, like how immature." The thing is though, is that it's just farm and cow shit.
Yeah,
and
it's not actually a knock.
It actually smells like poo poo. Yeah. It does.
I am being factual here. What's the word I'm looking for? Agriculturally accurate. I almost had a stroke when I said that, just saying. Anyway, this guy was looking for a singer. We had a class together. I can't remember what the fuck it was, and somehow it came up in conversation that I could sing, which I don't even know how, because the only real outlet I had at the time, at least for public singing, was like karaoke, and that wasn't even really like a thing for me then, not in high school, because I wasn't old enough to get into the bars legally.
When did you know, when did you when did you realize you could sing? Because
Um,
I always find it very interesting for singers who don't play anything, who don't play any instruments. And then not only that, they're also self-taught, right? Like that's you know,
and that's true too.
I've been playing music since I was 13 years old, and
Mhm.
um I can't write a melody for the life of me. I
Right.
I can't, you know. I've tried. I
Mhm.
even tried to like grab a guitar and find, find the key and try and come up with something. There's no way I can do it.
Yeah,
So
I
I just find that very interesting that you don't have any musical training, you don't play any instruments, but
no,
you can
I
sing as well as you
knew
can.
I knew I could sing since I was a little kid, and it was as simple as, I really liked music. I'd play it, I'd sing along to it, and you know, I mean, I shouldn't say this about all people that you can tell whether you can sing good or not, because there's definitely people out there who think they can sing and they can't. Um, but like, I don't know, I would just sing along to stuff and I enjoyed it, and I thought I was pretty good at it. And then over the course of the years, like people would tell me as such, like you're a good singer, you should do that and that sort of thing. And I'd be like, oh, maybe. Like I never really knew how to get that started because again, like no musical training, I didn't play any instruments. So I'm like, well, it's great that I can sing, but how does that help me? How do I start a band? Like I literally I have to find an entire group of people to do everything else. And it's like I'll
Right.
just step in front of the mic and sing, right?
And hope that you can do it.
And hope that I can do it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's different. Singing
Singing
along
along with
with
something. I mean, I can do that,
yeah, and I mean,
right?
because you've also got
Not good.
I'm not I'm not singing into a microphone when I'm doing that either. So I'm really blending in nicely with whoever I'm singing along to, right?
Right.
And I was really good at emulating. So it was a long time before I knew what my actual voice sounded like too. So let's put it that way.
Right.
But anyway, so this guy wanted me to join this band. They were just like a basement group or whatever. They'd never gone out, they'd never done anything in front of anybody, blah, blah, blah. And it was covers. And dude, this lasted, you know, I've had indigestion that's lasted longer than this fucking band, honestly. Um,
Hey.
um, we did a couple covers, like rehearsed a couple covers, and I can literally remember that they were Karma Police by Radiohead.
I'm still laughing at your joke. But anyway.
Oh, and Got You Where I Want You by The Flies. So yeah, we're talking some real late 90s alt rock
Mm-hmm.
loveliness. Where this became significant was this was my first experience with, oh, you're a fucking douchebag. And I'll tell you where that came around. So we'd wrapped up Karma Police. I'd spent quite a few nights singing along to Tom York and trying to sound.
Did you have long hair at that point?
Uh, I think it was in an in-between stage. I went back and forth for
Oh,
years.
did you?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay.
in your youth, you can grow hair pretty fast, and then it just one day it doesn't happen anymore. But anyway, I don't think I did though. But I was rehearsing this song. I was doing really well with it. Same with Got You Where I Want You. And when I showed up to do it, we got through the Radiohead one. I felt really cool about it. It was the first time I'd ever sang with a live band, something other than a fucking CD or something.
Right.
So then we were about to go into Got You Where I Want You. And I mean, you guys can, anybody who watches this, you can look the song up and you'll find the part that I'm talking about. But there's a part in that song where the vocal melodies, they get a little fast, I guess, faster. So the guy looked at me and he said, now, when you get to this part of the song, it's going to be hard. He's like, so I want you to make sure that, that you nail that. And before I could even respond, he's like, actually, you know what? Like, don't even worry about it. He's like, you sing this part and then just I'll sing that part. And I'm like, I can fucking sing that part, dude. Like, that's fine. He goes, no. He goes, I'd feel much better just if I did it. And I'm like, all right. So we went into the song. I sang the first verse, I sang the chorus. Like I was pretty much like, it was ridiculous. I was singing the whole song because the part that I'm talking about is kind of like almost like the outro. So we get to the outro and he fucking takes over, misses his cue, by the way. I kind of have to like look at him like, it's your fucking turn. And so he starts singing, and like, God is my witness, worst fucking sound I've ever heard next to a dying cat. Like, honestly. And I'm just sitting there, like, they play through it. Obviously, I'm not singing. And this is me while I'm looking at him the whole time. Like this. So then the song ends, and he goes, and he's like, yeah, guys, yeah. He goes, like, that was really good. And I'm just staring at him. I'm like, that was fucking terrible, man. And he's like, pardon me? He's like, we're in his house, right?
Yeah.
He's like, it was fucking terrible. I'm like, I've been practicing this shit like for a couple of weeks now, and I fucking had it nailed down. You just came in and shit the bed. And he was like, I don't shit the bed. Like, it was just, you know, one of those stupid things,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Mhm.
you want to go me? Anyway, I quit on the spot. I was just like, this is bullshit. Like, I took the bus from high school in Collingwood to Stainer with him to his house. I fucking hitchhiked home back
Oh,
to
wow.
Oshawa Beach. First time I ever did that. That's how much I was like, fuck you guys. Like, this is ridiculous. Good luck to you.
Wow. Yeah.
So that lasted one rehearsal. My second band, a little bit cooler, I guess. The name of it was Deviate, but not how you think. D, a V, and an 8. Edgy.
That is how I thought.
Nice. So, yeah. So these were a bunch of guys in their late 40s, maybe mid 40s.
Oh, wow.
I was 22, maybe something like that at the time. I didn't care about that. Actually, what that told me was like, all right, well, fucking these guys can play at least. You know what I mean? Like, they've been playing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it was covers. We were covering everything from like Creed to fucking Collective Soul, Stone Temple Pilots, stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
I think we did a hip song too. That was fun. We made it out to a couple of like open mic nights, and just kind of killed it there. The significance of that was the very first time I played with a band in front of a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a lot of, I wouldn't even just say frontmen, but like just people in bands in general who can relate to this. It's like, that's a fever to catch, man. That's like when you're in front of a crowd, and they're feeling what you're doing. I mean, they were all our friends. So, I mean, what were they going to do? Right. I mean, I guess I had some douche friends. They probably would have booed us, but I don't know. It was a cool rush. And I was like, I really want to keep doing this. And it just didn't work out. You know, a bunch of middle-aged dudes that had shit going on. You know what I mean? I think one of them had like a fucking pill problem. Another one had like child support issues. And I'm just kind of like, I just want to sing in a band, guys. And, you know, it didn't pan out. So that leads to the most significant thing I did before we hooked up. And that was a band called Infract. So I had a mutual friend. Well, I had a friend like that was part of my core group of friends, and his girlfriend worked with another one of the guys in that band's girlfriend. And it was the whole, like, you know, my boyfriend's starting a band. Oh, my boyfriend plays guitar. Oh, my boyfriend and your boyfriend should get together and make out. And that's what they did. No. Anyway, so that happened. And he called me up and was like, yeah, I've got a band thing going and we need a singer. And at that point, like, I don't know, we were going to karaoke all the time at this local watering hole called the Beacon. And I
Good old guy.
yeah, that was honestly as much of a joke as it sounds like. My
buddy hosted those, eh?
Who, John?
No, sorry. What was the last name?
I don't know. We always called him fucking Big John.
Yeah, so it was his son. His son Dave took over.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was before that, then, I guess.
Yeah.
I actually honed my skills as a singer doing that.
No doubt.
It was perfect practice.
No doubt.
I could pick any song I wanted because, like, if you'd ever been there, you'd see like John had a fucking collection rivaled by no one.
Yeah.
It was almost like
John's son DJ'd my wedding also. Like,
okay, there you go.
Just I know all about the
his selection was like the tangible equivalent of fucking YouTubing something. Like you could think of it, you looked in the book, it was there. Like I would have hated to have cataloged that whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was where I really honed my skills, singing in front of a crowd. So by that point, when I was asked to join this band, I was pretty confident, like in my ability to sing. And yeah, I was just excited to see what was going to happen. So we got together. There was 5 of us. The one main guitarist didn't end up sticking around, as well as my buddy who brought me into the fold. There's no real nice way to say it, but like he was super green to begin with. So it was kind of a shitty circumstance where he brought me into the band and he was booted out of the band like almost next page. And, you know, obviously I wasn't, you know, it was just kind of like, hey man, thanks for bringing me in. Kick rocks. You know,
you asshole.
Yeah, well, I don't care. I was doing what I was doing. He was cool with it. I mean, it's not like I kicked him out of the band, you know what I mean? It wasn't even so much like getting kicked out. It was like, we're gonna do this. We want to start writing originals, and he wasn't there yet. Like he could barely hang on. We played one open mic night with him in the band, and I remember we played Enter Sandman by Metallica, and like he was just playing rhythm, and he was struggling, like just struggling. And I mean, I can't say shit. I'm not a guitarist, so I mean, I don't know how difficult as a guitarist it is to play the rhythm of Enter Sandman, but he wasn't doing it. I'll just put it that way.
Right.
So we managed to get 2 new guitarists, one of whom became our lead guitarist, a guy named Caleb McClellan, who I just got reconnected with, as you know, like not that long ago. Fucking dude is a legend on guitar.
He is. Yeah,
so fucking good.
Really good.
We would go when we recorded our first demo EP, whatever you want to call it. Like he went into the recording studio with nothing prepared, and it was just, okay, you're gonna put your solo here, and he's like, all right, sat down and just fucking out it came. Out it came. I think he might have gotten in a few practice runs like out in the hallway, while somebody else did their part, because I know we all went in at the same time. So he got a few practice runs out in the hallway just playing like unplugged on his fucking guitar, and he just went in and nailed it. And like to this day, like anytime I go back and listen to any of that stuff, which is not that often anymore because it's painful, some of the it's the quality of the production anyway. His guitar work, man, still makes me go like, fuck. Like,
yeah, I listened to a couple songs, well, when we first hooked back up, and then again recently. I think I was telling you, I was listening to some of your old stuff, and yeah, that guy can shred, man. That guy's super good.
Unbelievable.
Super good.
And it gave me more confidence, if that makes any sense, especially when we were on stage. You just got that feeling of like, fuck, we're a real fucking rock band. Like we're up here, we're killing it. He's shredding that guitar like nobody's business. My drummer wasn't the strongest drummer, but I'd rag on him a lot. Most of the issue with him was that he just didn't bring a lot to the table. He could keep a steady beat. Unfortunately, there was a couple times where he fucked that up during live performances. I got real mad about it. But like he'd hold it together for the most part. My bassist was really fucking good and a real cool guy, Bob. I miss that dude. And Daryl, our other our rhythm guitarist, he was pretty fucking phenomenal too. He had more of like an 80s, early 90s like metal band, like an Iron Maiden, Judas Priest kind of style, right. Which didn't always mesh with what we were trying to accomplish, but at the same time, like you couldn't deny that he had skill. I remember we did a cover of Paranoid by Black Sabbath, and we did dual solos. So he played the solo that Tony Iommi plays, and then Caleb just winged a second fucking solo, and he just did something different every night we played it, and it was fucking cool. So that was going really well for quite a while, for a couple of years. We played a lot of cool shows. I got to play places like the El Macombo, um, the Reverb, the Cathedral, the Key to Bala. I'm forgetting places. Some place in Aurelia that was popular at the time.
Was it the
Second Last Call?
I was gonna say, yeah, second
Yeah,
last call.
it
Yeah,
just came to me.
yeah.
The Dungeon in Oshawa.
I played there.
Yeah, like some just really,
I played the Toronto ones too. Like they're
yeah, gnarly fucking venues. Like,
yeah.
but like you could tell, like this is where it starts. I think literally the only place I didn't play in Toronto that I wanted to, I mean, obviously other than big arenas, was the Horseshoe Tavern. I never got to play in there, but I've been in it, so I mean, at least that counts.
I delivered beer in it once.
Well, that counts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I drank
man.
beer in it once.
Yeah.
We were doing really well. We struggled a lot with creative difference, and I know that's cliche, but we really did.
No, but it's a real thing though, man.
It is, and I knew it then, and I really know it now, or I really knew it a long time ago. But we all came from such different walks, like it was just ridiculous. Like my drummer, like wanted to be Nickelback, Theory of a Dead Man. Like he wanted to be that kind of a rock band. My bassist was like fucking Tool. That guy wanted to do progressive shit, weird shit, cool shit, but you know what I mean? But he wanted to do that experimental stuff. I already mentioned like Daryl was stuck in like the 80s and the early 90s. For myself, like I was a heavy Metallica fan at the time, but I was really into the alt metal stuff. I was really into Breaking Benjamin. I was really into Seether, Crossfade, 10 Years, those bands. I was really digging that shit. And Caleb was into Killswitch Engage and All That Remains, In Flames, all that kind of stuff. So it worked for a while because we all brought something different to the dance, and it kind of became, like our thing. But then after a little while, our thing started to sound a little too fucking messy. And then Caleb got me into the really heavier stuff. So then we wanted to kind of take off in that direction, because now suddenly, like, I was all about Bullet for My Valentine, and I wanted to sound like them, just with a more of a Howard Jones from Killswitch kind of scream. I wanted to do that. And he was like, yeah, let's fucking do that. And then my drummer was like, no, that fucking sucks. And we're like, it doesn't suck. You suck. You can't play it. Became one of those kind of things, right? And then the other two going like, I just want to play, guys. Let's just play. And it was just like, shut up, get in, pick a side, choose a side. Anyway,
to be
long story short, we played I guess it technically wasn't our last show, but our last good show. We played the Docks, and we had 700 people there. It was fucking ridiculous. It was packed. It was past their fucking, like, however many people they were letting in for that. It was way over that at the time. We went long because they were having some fucking dance party or some shit like after this show. So there was all these really well-dressed people outside, like in the fucking cold, like trying to get in, like, hey, we want to go in and listen to our techno. And we're all in there, like, just fucking.
Do they sound like that when they talk?
In my head. Like, hey man, what's up? And they're like, hey.
Bunch of Pee Wee Hermans.
Yeah. It was so good. I never felt more in control of a crowd than that night. Like, people were just doing what I was commanding. Do you know what I mean? If it was like, make some noise, they made some noise. I'm like, let's get a pit going over here. The pit fucking just manifested, shit like that. It was amazing. Yeah. The next show we played after that, which was not long after, was at this tiny little fucking bar. And it must have had 7 people in it. And I was just kind of like, fuck, why are we still doing this? Like, I had been at them like, let's get a manager. Let's make this fucking real. Let's make this serious. We had an inn at an indie record label in Toronto that had a couple of bands on it that were known at the time. And they were like, come in, play your shit, like blah, blah, blah. And certain people in the band were all like, no, we don't want to do that. And it's just like, well, what do you want to do? It's like, well, we'll wait for something better. And it's like this is fucking right here in front of us. This gets our music out. We fulfill an agreement. Then you fucking go find something better, whatever, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then just what it boiled down to is like, nobody could agree on anything anymore. So that's where it starts to become a bit of a parallel. Is I met my wife, and it was kind of like, same thing. She straight up told me, this is like, you know, like, I respect what you're doing. I want you to do well. I don't want to stand in your way, but I'm not going to be fucking here waiting for you either. So I'm like, cool. I respect that. I'm also not going anywhere because yeah, that was it. That was, I saw that future and I wanted that future. I didn't see a future with these other guys. And that was it. It was an easy decision. They carried on without me and without Caleb. They got some, I don't even care. It's just some fucking 80s glam rock reject fucking guy. And if he sees this, fuck you, like Rust, I don't care. And they went nowhere.
You're so mean.
I know.
Fuck.
But see, I jammed with them once, okay, after the fact. After they had their new singer and all that. That guy was a fucking basket case of issues. They were in between singers. I went in, and it was just kind of like a feeling out process. And we were just, again, let's play covers. And I was like, well, let's play our stuff. Like, let's play what we did. And they're like, well, no, because we do different stuff now. And by different stuff, they mean 2 of the songs that I wrote, they fucking fucked with and turned into something else. And that was a lesson, kids, in copywriting, because it was copyrighted, but it was copyright infract. And since I was no longer part of infract, I had no claim to said fucking songs. I could have fought them because I had the original lyrics, and the first time we ever recorded it, like when we played it live in the basement on a fucking CD. And you know what I did? You know what I did, kids? I mailed it to my fucking self. You know what that is? That is called holding up in court, because it has the date on it that I mailed it to myself. So it shows that I had penned lyrics to this song and we had performed it in this time frame. When these guys recorded this song, it was like 2-3 years later.
Yeah, I've heard people doing that.
Yeah. So like,
I can tell you feel really strongly about that. You're
well,
mad.
No, it's just
don't be so mad.
because I learned. That's all. It would only have been an issue if they had chosen one of those songs as a single and like blown up. And then I would have been like, fuck you. That's my song.
Without you and Caleb, man, I don't know. I don't know if that would have happened. No offense to them.
It didn't. Let's put it that way.
Of course.
They haven't done anything in 11 years. Let's put it that way. So that led to a very extended hiatus with a short stop in your basement, where we, yeah, don't worry, kids, it gets better. Yeah, we did that Kill Switch cover. I know everybody's thinking like, who was tied to the chair and who was yelling? Like,
how many of those have you had?
I don't know. I had it was daylight before.
Gotcha.
You can't tell now, but it's not daylight anymore.
Oh.
But yeah, we did that Kill Switch cover. And that was fun. And I credit you and Mike for pushing me out of my safe zone, because I mean, I was a diehard Kill Switch fan at the time. So that was fun. That was an easy choice to be like, yeah, you guys want to cover. It was the End of Heartache, for anybody who's wondering. I wanted to cover it badly, but I was not confident in my screaming ability at all. And I mean, going back to it, I mean, it's hard for me to listen to, but I mean, at the time, like hearing it back, like I was happy with it because it was a lot fucking better than I thought I could have done. I feel like I'm a lot better than that now, which may not be saying much. I don't know, but it was a step in the direction that I wanted to go. And you gave me that outlet, you know, where I was able to get my feet wet with fucking some metalcore, and it was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, man, like we got to do more shit like this. And I'm like, absolutely. And then we didn't fucking talk for 12 years.
Yeah, pretty well.
which leads me to one of the questions I was asked. Where did the name come from?
There you
12,
go.
12 years today. There it is. Because it was 12 years, probably not to the day, I'm sure.
But we can pretend.
We can pretend. But it was 12 years in between the last time Jay and I not even worked together, but honestly, like really had any kind of contact, really.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, you had shit going on. I think you fucked off and went to work in like Georgetown, which was like a couple hours from here or whatever.
Oh my God, I did that. And
Yeah,
I
bunch of shit.
went and worked in Alberta for a year. And
Yeah, I moved while she was my fiance at the time, we moved to London. What up, Chasing Records? Fucking town is awesome. I don't know why I ever left, but glad I did, I guess, because this. But anyway, that's where the name came from. Was 12 years, and that came after a slew of superbly shitty fucking names that we kept throwing out to each other.
yeah, I don't remember any of them.
Oh, me neither. But I remember there being like this brief moment where I forget how we said it, but we said something in texting where it was just like, okay, let's do this differently so that neither one of us gets offended.
Yeah. And I was just like, you have to just say nope.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just say no.
nope.
Because you'd come at me with something that you were like, this is it. This is the fucking name. And I'd be like, that's stupid. And I would say something. And you'd be like, like, are you a fucking child? Like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not flaming death. Like, I don't know.
I forgot about that though.
I wish we had wrote those names down, dude. Seriously, how fun would that be to go through some of those fucking names? I don't.
It'll probably be a little embarrassing, but it would be fun.
Yeah, and yeah, there's nothing hiding here, folks, because I don't remember any of them. Not one.
No, no, I honestly don't.
There you go.
Don't. But yeah, after our first EP, I was kind of like, okay, I kind of want to do another one, but like during the summer months, I'm not as interested in writing and recording as I am in the winter. Something about the winter time where it's just like I like lock myself in the recording space. But
yeah, that's fair. You write all winter and then you make me fucking write all spring.
Well, that's not true. Just the second.
It's not at all. Not at all.
Second half of winter. But
True.
Yeah, that one's like, I guess if you want to call it the heaviest, the heaviest one is the opening track on that.
Oh, on the first record?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
I wouldn't even call it heavy, but it's a pretty cool tune.
It's it has heavy elements to it for sure. I mean, if you're gonna listen to 12 Years Today in chronological order, meaning first record, first track, the first scream I ever fucking pull off is in that, and it's brief. I can't even pull out the line off the top of my head, but it's literally like one of those Breaking Benjamin moments where it's just like, it's literally like just 2 or 3 words. Yeah. But I was proud of it. Like, it was fucking sick. Like when we did it, like pulled it off, you played it back. I mean, obviously my thing was like, you played it back and I'm like, I want to like it, but I'm looking at you, right? Like, does he fucking like it? Because I'm impressed with myself because, if it was really bad, I'd know. But when it wasn't really bad, that left me in that questionable place where it's like, I think it's good. I like it.
Do you?
Do you like it? And I forget what the wording you used, but it was very complimentary. And it's like, fucking confidence level just went up and up. And I think we do that for each other. Like,
yeah, I think I'm for sure not afraid to tell you if I think you should do something again or
just vice versa. Same with me.
And vice versa, where if I write something and you want it to be maybe even just the formula, you suggest that and yeah, and like post-production stuff, you come up with some pretty cool ideas.
Yeah.
So
What I was gonna say about I have mine. That was a sleeper for me. My buddy Neil out in London, is my best friend. He was listening to, I think it was Who Knew, and he tweeted it out. He tweeted out the Apple link. What the fuck are you doing, Apple? Anyway,
how dare he?
how dare he? I know we're trying to get our numbers up on Spotify, guy. Like, really? Anyway, um, I guess he had shit on random, and I Have Mine came on right after Who Knew. And he hadn't listened to that in quite a long time, and I don't know. He felt the need to retweet it, which I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting choice. So then I ended up listening to it, and I was like, this is a fucking solid song. Like, I hadn't listened to it in quite a long time because I'm like you, like I haven't gone back to that record in quite a while.
Yeah,
Just for whatever.
sonically, it's
Sonically,
unlistenable.
it's just not. It's inferior to what we've done since.
Mhm.
Writing wise, like the music you wrote, the melodies and the lyrics that I wrote, they're great. Like all of that shit is fine. It's the sound isn't the same as what we have.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
We're kind
but
of trying to
yeah,
find it. I think we're trying to
listening
find
to
it.
that, man, like the fucking opening riff is badass. I love it for starters.
Yeah,
Um,
super simple.
I think, and for anybody who wants to listen to that song, I mean, you can take what I'm about to say and apply that to your ears, but like listening to my lyrics, like what I was writing about, like I remember the headspace I was in when I wrote that. Um, and it was I'm not afraid to say it. It is about a particular person in my life who really fucking let me down, for lack of going into couch stuff. But yeah, it really brought me back to that headspace, and I was in a fucking dark place when I wrote that. But the good thing that came out of it was that was the first time I'd been able to write about it. Like people would always tell me, especially my wife, they would just like, why don't you write a song? And like, this was before you, right? And I was just like, I don't fucking play an instrument. You know what I mean? It's like, well, just go write some lyrics. And that's why this works so well, is I'm not good at doing that. I mean, I can write poetry or something. I can make fucking words rhyme.
But
That's not an
if you're
issue.
not getting anything out of it, there's
And that's true. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm not going to see it come to fruition or anything like that. Not to mention the music that's accompanying what I'm writing also helps me write that story. Do you know what I mean?
yep.
Like if you take the song to a dark place, then I'm going to follow because I'm already writing about something dark. So it just makes it easier,
Mhm.
and then if you bring it back up to you know, a high point in the song, like some kind of like epic conclusion, same thing. Like I'm going to follow suit with whatever I'm writing or whatever I end up doing with my vocals. I can't get that effect out of just putting words on paper with
Mhm.
nothing else.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, those lyrics are pretty fucking intense, and
Mhm.
all of them turned out to be that way. Um, so I'm really, I guess what I'm really saying is like when I go back now and I listen to that first record, whether it's sonically what we would hold to a high standard now, or not, is kind of irrelevant. It's definitely not something I would ever shy away from or try to forget that it exists kind of idea. It's not that, oh, that first record we made, fuck that
Oh
record. Like it's
no. Oh
definitely not
no.
like
It
that.
has
Like, but I know some bands have those, right?
yeah.
Some bands have like their first record where they're like, let's get this piece of shit out of the way now and then move on to bigger and better things. And I mean, we did bigger and better things,
Yeah,
but
I'd be stoked if I saw those streams, you know,
well,
go up
Stronger When You
more.
Fight, the song itself, like surprisingly, it still hangs on there like as one of the higher songs that we
Mhm.
that stream. Like it's somewhere in the middle there. But the others, like the other songs are down here. It's staying in the middle somewhere. That
I
must
think
say something.
I think the Humanity EP was like um there's certain things sonically about that I like better than In Times of Badness, believe it or not.
Certain things I can attest to
Like
that.
like I feel like it's more geez, I don't know how to say it. it's more consistent. That's the word. It's, you know, everything's consistent across the
Yep.
board.
Yeah.
That EP has a sound. You know, it has a distinct sound.
Mm-hmm.
And in times of madness, you know,
I think
it's different.
I think
I'm really happy with the way Dead of Sin sounds. You know,
oh, me too.
I think that's like the best snare sound that I've ever been able to get on a recording.
It is a sick snare, man.
It just cuts through, right? That's what I like about it.
But sonically and just as a whole, and this is actually, it's not just my opinion, it's a lot of opinions. I've been told that Say Goodbye is the best thing we've ever done, by several people. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the majority of people.
Like sound
I don't
wise.
know. Just in terms of like, what's the best song 12 Years Today's ever done? And it's like, that's the answer. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't break it down to you in terms of why, whether it's the, you know, whether it's the guitar, my singing, the lyrics, the tempo, the atmosphere of it. But I agree.
It's super
And
dark.
my
It's super dark.
My taking away from that is, yeah, I love how dark it is, and it's very dark, and on both of our ends. You wrote a really fucking dark song, like musically. So then I wrote a really fucking dark song lyrically, and that was perfect. That, with the exception, maybe not maybe, they're two different things, honestly, but like, I put the ending of Say Goodbye right up there with the ending of Humanity. The way we do the outro for Humanity, like, the focus is the outro. The outro is like the thing you remember, because it's fucking haunting. I feel that the lyrics that I added to that just before the end added to that, and then just hearing the way that string, like your guitar, like just how that ends, like that sound, dude, fucking wow. I knew that, like,
super dark.
yeah, the moment you sent that to me and I heard that, I'm like, that's going to be a thing. That's going to be something, you know, that it's going to be remembered for. And I remember that was the whole reason we knew right away, before I think I even had put my stamp on that song. We knew that song was going to go last on the EP.
Right.
But saying what you were saying about Humanity, as far as it being like more consistent, I think the only thing that was missing from In Times of Madness, to put it on that same consistency level, was it was just missing one more song to tie it all together, I think. It just in terms of ratio, because, you know, you've got Shadows on Humanity, and then you've got Through It All on In Times of Madness, and they're kind of like the oddballs. They're the acoustic, the softer side, you know, whatever. That's what they are. But then, like, Humanity and In Times of Madness, then they both had like the heavy songs surrounding it. But Humanity, it depends how you look at it. The song Humanity or Burn is like the thing that puts it above, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get what
because those were two fucking bangers right there. Those were two, like, in two very different ways. Like, Burn was very much an in your face.
It was almost like it had some new metal elements to it.
It's almost a little death punchy to you know, like it was more aggressive. I know that's what it was about. It was about being aggressive. It was aggressive riffs, aggressive lyrics.
And I think the reason why, I can probably speak for both of us, but I'll just speak for myself. But like, the first record, you and I both knew that we could be a lot heavier, and we wanted to be a lot heavier. But the first one was like more experimental, right? And I wanted to open up our second EP with like, hey guys, this isn't just a continuation of the first one. This is like, hey, growth. This is what else we have.
Yeah.
Right. And then you know, Humanity is almost it's almost metalcore. Like, I really don't know how else to
the song, you mean?
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. But then there's elements of Burn that are like that too.
Yeah, the
like
chorus would be, and
the chorus, and then especially like the screams towards the second end. Like I pulled a lot of that from metalcore, and like we were talking about Mike earlier, he sings the one line. I think it's "I won't refrain" or something like that is the one that he sings.
he's got a dirty scream, eh?
Fuck yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
it's nasty as
And
fuck.
I mean, it's like he was never intended to be on the record, but he did that. Like I think I think we wanted to do something with him, and it was like,
Yeah,
well,
I for
fucking
sure wanted.
throw a
Yeah,
scream on there, and he did, and it was like, yeah, that we're keeping that.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's going to be on there, like for sure.
yeah.
It was just the one line.
That guy's got a lot of talent, man. I wish
He does.
I
He
keep
does.
pushing him to I keep pushing him to do a similar thing that we're doing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
do a solo thing, and um, I offered to help him with it too. Like honestly, man, there there's so there's a lot of parts on guitar that he's just miles ahead of me on. He's got nasty tone, man. Nasty
Yeah.
tone in his fingers. Yeah, very jealous of that guy's tone. Yeah, he's really good.
Well, I definitely him screaming that
He
the
can
one
sing
line.
too. Yeah, he can sing
Yeah.
too.
But him screaming that one line really helped me elevate my game, because like he did that, and I was like, oh shit, okay, well, if I because I want this on my fucking song, but if I'm gonna keep this on my song, then I better make sure that whatever the fuck I do, like, can hang with that. And
Right.
I feel like it did. um
Oh yeah.
I think he might actually be I think he has two lines, but I come in on the second line with him, so there's like
That's right.
there's one brief moment where we're both screaming together,
Mhm.
and it's fucking sounds great,
Yeah.
like with
Yeah,
the
it's
two
dope.
of us screaming, and it's really cool. um but like, yeah, he really had a fucking Jesse Leach thing going on. Like, that's what I heard. Like, when he did it, that's exactly what I heard.
Right.
And I fucking loved it. But then Humanity is our most progressive song that we have, I
Mhm.
feel. The changes that it has, that ending, like, yeah, that's fucking metalcore for sure.
Yeah, that ending came together really well.
Yeah.
Really
I
well.
still love, like, to this day, like, I'll be tapping my fingers or whatever, like whatever, like on my armrest on my fucking in my car,
Mhm.
like, as that's playing. I've got that shit nailed down now. Like, that's how much I focus on it, because it's so
Hey,
fucking good.
yeah, that's cool, man.
Put me behind a drum kit though, and that wouldn't happen. But if finger drums were a thing, I'd be fucking
You be there, eh?
I'd be a good drummer.
Right on. Yeah. I think after that I was seriously contemplating just kind of packing it in after Humanity.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's out there now. Let it do its thing. Are you on your phone, you bitch?
I'm looking for the questions.
Oh, okay.
I'm listening.
No, but anyway, but yeah, for whatever reason, I tried making music again, and Dead of Sin came out, and then I showed you, and you liked it,
Yeah.
thankfully. That's still doing really well, man.
Yeah, it actually it's debatable some days which song does better, that or Who Knew.
Yeah.
Which I'll get to that in a minute. But when you talk about Dead of Sin, the very quick pit stop before that was the 3 Days Grace cover.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, it's pretty forgettable, but I mean, whatever. We say this all the time. It is
It does
not a bad
it
cover. It's
it
just
no, it doesn't suck.
it's just a carbon copy, is what
yeah,
it is.
1 to
It's a
1.
really good karaoke version where we also play the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
homage more than anything else. We didn't try to make it our
It was
own.
more to just like, I don't know, almost pay our respects in a sense.
That's
As weird as that
exactly
might
what it
sound. You know
was.
what I mean?
You know
We
what?
just wanted to do it because we grew up on that record, and
Yeah, we did. It's so hard to put your own spin on a song that lives in the same wheelhouse that you're in. Like, we're the same kind of metal. Like we're alt metal for the
Yeah, it's
most
very
part.
true. No, it's very true. Like we
So
can't.
like, how do you make it sound your own? Like if we were a band like Korn, just pull it out of my ass, they have a very distinctive style,
Of
right?
course.
So if
Yeah.
they were going to do a cover of Home by 3 Days Grace, it would be like, yep, this is fucking Korn's version of 3 Days Grace.
Mhm.
Whereas, yeah, we come along and we do it. Like we did a subtle thing. I what was the one thing we did where I hold the note, where I say like I'm better off alone, and I hold it. You
Mhm.
threw that really cool effect on my voice. That obviously isn't something that they do. So that was
Yeah.
like our little, and then my scream,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
scream that I do. That was it. That was literally our entire attempt at
Yeah.
making it sound different, and it was
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I don't even tell people about that song, right? Like it doesn't really even exist
I have,
in my
and it
world.
doesn't seem to do much good.
No, it doesn't really matter, right? I
No,
mean,
it doesn't.
with Who Knew, like I knew, dude, I remember dicking around on my guitar in drop A, and for some reason that song popped into my head. I'm like, I wonder if I can make that into something. So I brought it up on YouTube, plugged my guitar in, um, whatever, down tuned to A, um, and I just played the chorus, right? Just
Yeah.
just the progression, and I found out where it was, and I was like, as the progression was coming up, I knew I was like, oh, I'm gonna get an open A at the end of each measure or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is that super low note at the end of each measure in
I
that
know.
chorus.
And it's so sick.
And I'm just like, oh, there's no way I can't do something with this. And so I knew long before I even brought that idea up to you that I wanted to do it at some point. I just, you know, um, it's weird. Like I get some ideas sometimes and I sit on them for a while or I forget about them or whatever. And,
Yeah.
but I'm super glad we did it, man. And the best part is, um, and I'm not taking anything away from Pink. I mean, like, you know, she's like in my top 5 of of uh of that genre of music. Um, but
She's my number one, whatever.
no, and that's totally no, I get it.
Oh, you just froze.
What did you
She is.
freeze?
Oh, you froze.
Oh,
Or maybe you froze. Maybe I froze. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
say you froze.
Okay, fair enough. She is
Nah,
the most fucking metal pop star, there is, in my
yeah.
opinion. That's I fucking love her for it.
Well,
Um,
I think like the best part of us doing that song as a cover is like we made like that's is that the same flat that I got you?
it's part of it.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
What? That I still have it?
Yeah.
You have no idea how much hard liquor I have in this house, do you?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, yeah, see,
Yeah.
I don't drink hard stuff ever since
I never used to,
ever since my buddy's wedding, man.
but now I hate life, so I want to drink all the time.
Well, that sucks. I love
I'm
life.
just kidding.
Um
God.
anyway, like I was been trying to say here the last fucking 8 minutes. We've really made that song sound like it's, you know, it fits very well, especially with In Times of Madness, that EP. Like,
Yeah.
you
It
know,
sounds like it
if
could
you
have been
didn't
on a
know,
deluxe
if
edition.
yeah, and like if someone didn't know what that song was, and I feel like we could throw that in there and it would just be,
I
you know,
think that there have been a handful of people, maybe not a big one, but I've caught little things here and there. I think there's a few people who didn't realize it was a cover. Um, Definitely none of our core fans. I mean, most of our core fans knew that song and were big fans of that song to begin with. So when they found out that we were doing it, like back when we released our first teaser for it, like they were really fucking excited, which got me excited for two reasons. One, we were going to release something that they really wanted to hear. And two, just the sheer fact that somebody actually gave a shit that,
yeah,
we're about to do something and they want to hear it. Which might have been what I just said. I just said that two different ways. But anyway, I'm fucking really glad we did that song. I think not only did we make it our own, but we made it sound like it was a song that was meant to be in that genre, like that we
Yeah.
wrote, you
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that could just be a testament to that, and that's the thing. I'll say this about pop music. Like obviously a lot of people just shit on pop music just for the sake of shitting on pop music. Um, yes, pop music is kind of a genre in a sense, but that's not where it came from. Pop music is literally just a short form for popular music. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to the fucking 80s, pop music was also heavy metal. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only difference between like a lot of what the pop stars are doing and what fucking Motley Crue was doing is drums and guitar and shit like that. And
Right.
you can at me all you want about that shit, but fucking Motley Crue was fucking pop music, you know, with fucking devil horns. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that about country music today too. Country music is fucking pop music
Yeah, it
with
is.
cowboy hats and boots. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I just say that in the sense of like the progression of the song. You know what I mean? It has that very simple.
Oh, listen, dude, I grew up on country music, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, man.
You it
Yeah.
starts off kind of in one way, it has the hook, you know.
There's that late 80s, early 90s country music era that it's just there was something about it, something super special about it. I could go on and on about that.
Oh
But
no, for sure. We could do that
uh,
another time. But
okay,
what
let's sorry, go on. Go ahead.
what I'm getting at is you can take so many of those pop songs and they're just fucking dying to
Mm-hmm.
be given that heavy injection. And it's evident in you can go to the Spotify playlist like fucking rock covers or metal covers. You go to any one of those, and the majority of the songs that you're going to get out of there are heavy bands covering pop songs.
Mm-hmm.
And they make for the best covers.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
do.
Fame on Fire does a cover of Blinding Lights. It's fucking sick. So good.
And I think how many people didn't know I Prevail until
Right?
they
I
did.
didn't. I
Yeah. Yeah, I
honestly
didn't
didn't.
either.
I didn't
I
know who the
didn't either.
fuck they were, and I heard that
I
cover.
saw them on Facebook. It was like a
Uh,
Facebook in the day when I had it.
yeah, and they're
Um,
one of those examples where a cover actually launched their career,
oh yeah. Yeah, it
like
seems
into
like
the
it did,
next
yeah.
stratosphere. Anyway, like
Mm-hmm.
they obviously existed and were making waves beforehand, but like that really put them on the map.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, you know, I love doing covers for that reason, especially taking a pop song
Yeah,
and
it's
doing
cool to
that.
see what people think and
But I'm glad we went back. Like I'm glad we went back to 2006 to do that.
fuck yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of bands, and this is not a right or wrong decision, but obviously, there's a lot of bands out there, and they're covering like new shit,
Well, you
and it
know
makes
what?
sense,
Honestly, I would be all for that. I'm just afraid of covering something that's already been covered. That's what I like. That's what I don't want to do.
Well, we
Right?
ran into that problem. I remember, here's a little exclusive. When we were first talking about doing a cover, like when we moved away from doing a cover that was like the same style of music, because I think we were going to do like Cold by Crossfade
Yeah,
once
yeah,
upon a time.
yeah.
And then for whatever reason, we decided not to. And
Because I
then,
couldn't play the solo.
okay, there you go. Then we got on the idea about doing a pop song. And I suggested, was it Without You? Was it Without You or Without Me? I don't know, the Halsey song.
I remember that.
Um,
Yeah.
and I fucking love that song. And I'm like, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, this would make a great fucking metal song. And
Mhm.
no sooner did I say that and get all excited about it and bring it up to you, then I went on fucking Spotify and found like 40 bands that had fucking done it and done it good. So
Mhm.
it was like, yeah, not doing that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that it was a safe choice, but I think it was a smart choice that we went back because nobody thinks to go back a
Yeah.
lot. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, unless we're pulling out like the greatest hits of all time kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, you're going to find covers of that for sure. And it's not that Who Knew was obscure, not by any stretch of the means. That was a hit song for her.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know how many people were out there in 2020 thinking about doing a cover of it.
Yeah.
But we did.
Mhm.
And it struck a chord with the right audience because they
Yeah.
were,
People really seem to dig it.
well, you know what? I think a lot of the people that are digging it too, maybe not all of them. I mean, they're all going to dig it for different reasons, and hopefully they dig it primarily just because they think it's fucking good. But a lot of people probably were of that age at the time that Pink did that song, and it was a big hit. So, it was part of their life back then. So now to hear for this to come along while they're listening to this kind of music, is kind of like, you're covering what? Like, okay. Cause I got a couple of those reactions, and that's what told me that, like, oh, you were a fan of this song before, but you listen to this kind of music now. So it's like, that's cool. It's not just somebody who knows who Pink is, and is interested in hearing what we do with one of her songs, cause that's a whole other thing. You're actually a fan of that song back in 06 because you were of a certain age and you listen to pop music maybe, or you listen to everything or whatever. But now you're somebody who listens to alt metal or metalcore or whatever. Cause I see, obviously, like, I know what the majority of our fans, like, what they're listening to and stuff like that. It's not Pink. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But they know it, and they knew it well. And I don't know, man. I think we did it really fucking good justice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's dope. Let's finish off those questions and do our shout outs here, and we can probably wrap this up in the next like 20 minutes.
All right. Well, we can start with we can start with a few shout outs, because I still haven't been able to go back through here far enough to find
the questions.
I know we've touched on a lot of them. Here's one. What was our scene in high school?
I don't know what that means.
Like, I'm assuming, like, who were you in high school? Like, were you emo? Were you a metalhead? Like,
grade 9, I wore Exco hoodies and I had spiky blonde hair. Grade 10, I had Slipknot, Metallica, Korn band shirts with brand new black Dickies that I cut off below the knee, and I wore striped socks and had like 5-inch fucking black spikes in my hair and black nail polish. Grade 11, I wore a lot of
learning things.
Grade 11, I wore a lot of Billabong and khaki.
Nice.
And grade 12 was like 3 years after grade 11, because I finally went back. And I mean, that was, I was basically from grade 9 from music class when I got I started playing drums in music class. From then on, I was a metalhead, like through and through, like a closed-minded metalhead for the first couple of years of high school. So that's me.
I was already a metalhead, but probably a different kind of metalhead. I was also coming out of the grunge era at the time.
The best era.
The best fucking era. I started high school. It was the mid 90s. So it was all about Alice in Chains and fucking Soundgarden. Yeah, I know I'm an old fucker. But like that
I wouldn't even say like fucker, just like an old fuck.
Just an old fuck.
You know what I mean? There's a difference.
Yeah, I do.
There's a difference.
So it wouldn't surprise you to know that in high school, I wore this, but tied around my waist with a ratty ass fucking t-shirt, ripped jeans. I had long hair.
Holding a skateboard.
No, because I wasn't a poser, dude. I couldn't skateboard. We're the shit.
I tried skateboarding for like a week and I was like, wow, that was me. Never gonna happen.
I tried it. I got a skateboard for Christmas one year. I tried it and I was like, why would I ever choose this over my bike? Fuck off.
Yeah, I want to get somewhere like now.
Like literally, like I went out with my friends one day. I had my skateboard. They had their bikes, and they're like,
I've never seen a guy skateboarding to somewhere, like looking, for one, not exhausted, 2, not hating his life, and 3, just not even really moving anywhere.
I don't want to have to pull up my pants while I'm moving my skateboard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So that was your scene. Not everything except the skateboard.
More or less. And I mean, it kind of changed over the course of high school. but it always kind of stayed metal. Like I wore band tees a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, I grew my hair out at one point. But yeah, I pretty much looked like a guy who should have been in a band, and I wasn't
Fair
until like
enough.
the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my scene. Like I looked like I should have been in a grunge band or a fucking metal band.
Cool.
That was me. Oh wait, no. There'll be people who are gonna call me out on this if I don't mention it. I had a hat. Okay. You've seen the hat that I wear occasionally, right? Like you call it the old man hat or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, the
I
old
fucking love that thing. Well, I had something
eat,
similar to that.
eating crumpets and shit like that.
I love that hat, dude. The only thing that's missing is fucking suspenders, dude, for real.
And crumpets.
And crumpets. Crumpets are delicious. All right. Our fucking UK fans are going to attack you anyway.
Oh, I guess they would, eh?
Or they might attack me for being stereotypical. So I don't know. Either way.
Oh, damn. I wasn't even thinking about that.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever, dude. Maple syrup and bacon. That's us. Like, and it's not a lie.
And how many times have we said A?
I don't know.
I'm going to say none until then.
I'm going to say none. Did I just say A? No.
I don't think
say
so.
A.
I'm just talking shit.
We don't say who's
I'm trying to make up for me talking shit about eating crumpets and shit.
Oh, I see. You're trying to divert, but then you just brought it back.
Yeah, there's no getting out of it.
No, there really isn't. Anyway, I had a hat similar to that, but it wasn't that style. It was much different. It almost looked like a fucking limo driver hat. And I would wear it backwards all the time. I did this. This was solid, like 2 years. Yep. It was just, it almost became a signature thing. And I had long hair at the time. So I did the whole, like the hair was tucked behind my ears and my hair would kind of do that whole rounding thing where like the tips would roll out here. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe it other than bad. But I mean, hey, high school choices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the equally dumb people were looking at me going like, dude, that looks so awesome. I'd be like, I know, right? And
I'm so cool.
I'm so cool. And then not even like 5 years later, you're like, what a dumb fuck I was.
I think we can all say something similar about ourselves.
Yep. What is on your playlist that would surprise your fans?
Alan Jackson.
For real?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that really quickly, almost like you knew I was going to ask you that.
I didn't know that, but
okay.
No, that's an honest answer.
You ready for mine? Taylor Swift. Swift. Okay. Folklore record. It's exactly what it sounds like. She went more folksy. It's fucking really good songwriting. Don't at me. I don't even care. It's fucking.
That's your thing lately, eh? Is saying what? Don't at me.
It is. I don't even know where I got it's old. Like I heard that years ago. Somebody saying that.
I don't even know what that means.
I think I read somebody that I used to write a blog, read their blog all the time years ago. They used to say that all the time, and maybe I was waiting for my moment to be able to say it.
Okay.
And now I say it all the time.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's not my thing, but I'm gonna make it my thing because that's what I do. I steal things. Yeah.
Next question.
Next question would be who, I guess these kind of go hand in hand. Who inspired you to make music, and like which famous musicians do you admire? They kind of probably go hand in hand, right? So
yeah. Should probably keep this kind of short. Running out of time.
It's almost your bedtime, right?
That's exactly why. Straight up.
He's not lying.
Yeah, this guy needs to sleep, man. I
wasting time.
I prioritize sleep, man. People don't at me.
You're not
you fucking dick. Guy. Anyway, it changes a lot, but
mine does too, don't worry.
Yeah. Big Seven Dust fan.
Yeah.
I started drumming mainly because of Slipknot. And then Like I said, old country music.
Well, there you go.
That's it, man.
My the
It's
ones
not
that
like it's not like one particular artist, but it's kind
mine
of
isn't
as it
either.
were.
Mine's a slew. Like obviously I'm a singer, so I derive most of my inspiration from that. And it's been guys like James Hetfield, David Draymond from Disturbed, Sean Morgan from
Which people
Seether.
people have told me that I don't know what song in particular, but there's a couple songs I think where I've had a few friends mentioned how much you sound like Draymond, and this is on the first. This is on our first EP. But
I have mine. There's a specific part in there, and it's my homage to David Draymond.
Okay.
So that's not by accident at all.
Okay.
It happened naturally. Like I didn't just do it like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it like David Draymond. It just came out that way, and I was like, holy shit, I'm a lot more influenced by this guy than I thought I was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, same thing. And it changes all the time. I mean, Howard Jones and Jesse Leach. I mean, obviously, like I don't do the same thing they do, but when I do the screams that I do,
You think of them.
I'm thinking of them, and I try to incorporate that. A little bit of Benjamin Burnley as well, almost for the same reason. I don't sing like him per se, but when I try to scream certain things, I'm thinking of something that he did.
Mm-hmm.
So all over the map. I mean, I get right out of that genre too. You know, like Phil Collins was a big one for me, like as a kid. He might have even been the whole reason I gave a shit about music in the first place. You know, so yeah, it's really all over the map. But anybody who's really paid attention to our tweets or my tweets, I guess, or whatever, a lot of the bands that I throw out there.
So that's another thing. So not to cut you off. So people who don't realize, so I run Instagram and you run the Twitter.
Right.
So here's a difference between how I run Instagram and how James runs Twitter.
Yeah.
James runs Twitter like his personal account. He pretends that his first name is 12, his middle name is years, and last name is today. Where I will post something on our Instagram and I say we, our, things like that.
I say we all the time.
And James is like posting up videos of himself making skating rinks, which I'm jealous, by the way. I wish I'm gonna have to get you over here one winter and show me how to do that.
Well, that was one picture one time and that failed, let me tell you.
You posted it twice and I saw it again and I was like, what is this motherfucker doing? He posted this like 2 months ago.
Oh, that went up in our fleets. And that
listen, I'm just talking shit. I really don't care. I really don't care. Listen, your contribution to our social media and Twitter has really helped us. There's no doubt about it.
Thanks, man.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I'm just shitting on you.
Gotta stay engaged, right? Like that's what it's all about.
No, you know what? Honestly, man, I'm really shitty at staying in touch with people. So I think that's super beneficial. And the good thing is that you genuinely like interacting with people. You like conversing, and you're generally interested in people.
My thing is and that's true. I am. But my thing is I know that we wouldn't have any of the fucking streams that we have, or any of like whatever you want to call it, success. Let's just call it that. That we've had, if it wasn't for the people that I do interact with, and that's all the way just from like regular people, like the fans per se, all the way down to like media people who have turned into fans or even maybe friends. You know what I mean? And then bands themselves who have like same thing. I'm really big on the shout outs for that kind of stuff because they're the reason, they're the reason.
It's a good opportunity to just go right into that, because we wanted to kind of finish this off with just, a bunch of shout outs, because there is quite a bit. I'm kind of gonna let you take the steering wheel there.
Take the reins on that.
But I do want to point out that the people like, and I'm more of a go on Twitter to read politics, which we're not going to talk about. on this, but I go on Twitter to read politics because I'm heavily involved with that kind of stuff. I shouldn't say sorry, involved is the wrong word. I'm interested in that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm really into it. Um, which oftentimes I feel like I shouldn't be. Anyway, tangent over. I look on Twitter for that, and I kind of just keep up with our Twitter account just to see, who's liking our stuff and all that stuff. And everyone who's taken the time to like a post or retweet or comment or make a post about us or whatever, like they all seem like super awesome people.
Yeah.
And I can tell like when you respond to them and then there's a bit of a conversation going, like you can tell that, like they're awesome people too. And yeah, we're super fortunate that that these people like our shit. It's
Yeah, man.
cool.
We're really fortunate for that. And then them continuing to have interest in what we're doing. I think a lot of these people wouldn't have heard anything we ever did if it wasn't for Kaz from the Heavy Rock Show. She gave us our first taste of radio play.
And she was super supportive, like
Super,
not like on top of just playing our songs, like
yeah.
she said some
She had
really
nice
kind
shit to
shit.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that. And it's not just us, obviously. She has stuff to say, good stuff to say, but anybody she plays, because she doesn't play anything that she doesn't believe in. And that means something, especially like she played us a lot now. Since January.
Yeah, it's
January
awesome.
was the first time she played us. January 1st. We gathered around the radio like it was the fucking 30s, man. Like, oh, we're gonna listen to the radio show now. And fucking there we were. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And she's played us several times since then. Even made one of our songs the fucking theme song to the Heavy Rock Show, which is an extreme honor.
Big time.
And it's super cool because it's a song that she can't play because of F-bombs. Well, one F-bomb. But yeah, we owe a lot to her. And then Chasing Records, man. We've been networking with those guys since day one. Since we got onto, since I got onto Twitter. And then we've both been networking with them. That was the first podcast we ever did. Both sides, them and us, we've been supporting each other like so
They're taking
much through
off,
this whole
man.
thing. They
Taking
really
off.
are.
They're doing really well, man.
I think they have more fucking streams than we do. Like that's awesome. Like they're killing it. They're killing it. They're lucky. I mean, they have a great sound that is in,
I love his voice too, man.
Yeah.
It's so
they're
like
in a genre
Canadian.
that
It's
is
like so
so
Canadian rock, his voice.
right.
I love it. I
said that from the
I think it's so
beginning. I
good.
says like, you sound like Matt Good. And I know he took that as a compliment, and like, only a Canadian would notice that, and B, be like, thank you. Like everybody else is like, who?
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I really dig his voice, and they're both really good dudes, man.
They are good dudes,
good songwriters, and
they're in that genre too that is just, it's been popular for so long, and like they're fucking really good at it. So I mean,
that's the thing, they're really good at it. Like
alternative's such a big thing. Alt rock is such a big thing, and I don't even know if I could be. I don't think we could do what we do if we were an alt rock band.
You know what? When they released their latest single, "Who's Lonely Now?"
Yeah.
Even the way that, so what kind of stands out to me is that pre-chorus, like there's like that build up pre-chorus, and then just the way it flows, right? Like, because it's coming, and then that chorus, the lyrics they're repetitive, not to say that in a bad way, but it just he just does such a good job of doing so much with his voice, with just, that one line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I just really dig that song. And the funny thing is, I've been listening to it so much that,
Yeah, we're the reason you have that many streams. I can guarantee it.
no, not at all.
Kidding.
But
But
like
we have listened
I
to them a
listen
lot.
to it. I listen to it in the truck, and my daughter's in the back, and
Mhm.
I look in the rearview mirror, and she's
Nice.
doing that. I'm like, you don't
Nice.
even do that to our music. Dare you? So then I'll throw Dead of Sin on, and I'll be like, huh?
What do you think of
She's
this?
like, Daddy, change it. Daddy, change it.
That's so funny you say that, because I was listening. I was tuned into the Heavy Rock Show today, and she played "Say Goodbye" and "Through It All." So Aiden was outside playing, and he had just come in, and he had missed "Say Goodbye," which, I mean, he was not upset about. Don't worry about it. And Amy was like, "Oh, you're just in time. They're just about to play the song that Daddy wrote for you."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, bud." And he goes, "They're gonna play the song that you wrote about me." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Okay," and he just walked to his bedroom.
He's like,
I
cool
was
story,
like,
Dad.
Where are you going?" And he didn't even answer me. He just kept
Yeah,
going. I hear that, he just goes into his room, and
I'm
I'm
out.
like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
That was it. He listened to it. I don't know how it works. I played it for him once. I told him that I wrote it for him. I said,
Mm-hmm.
like, listen to the lyrics. This whole song is about you, bud. And he goes, "Okay." And he sat down and he listened to it, and he fucking cried.
Right.
And I'm not saying that in like if he ever watches, like, to embarrass him, like, because of, like, yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking wanted you to, because
Yeah.
it should,
Yeah. It
it
meant
was
something to him.
from my heart, and like, I cried.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this big tear fest of listening to the song.
Mm-hmm.
um and now I think he associates it with that. Like, I don't want to fucking cry. I don't want to
Oh,
fucking
okay.
cry.
No, that
So,
makes
like, he just
sense.
took off to his room. That's what I think. It's not that he didn't want to hear the song, like, it sucks or something.
Yeah.
It moved him so much the first time.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like, "Nope, not today. Not today,
Yeah.
buddy. I'm in a fucking good mood. Don't fuck with me."
Don't ruin it.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Chasing Records. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Fucking
dope.
super dope. Can't wait to do like another podcast with them.
Mm-hmm.
Either on theirs, or now we've busted the cherry on this, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be fancy, right? It's all talk. It's just,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm
I'm hoping that people
no editing. But what I will do is in the description on YouTube, I'll say, like, from this time to this time, you can find this. Shout outs will be at this time.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
skip this part.
Well, I mean,
You know what? Honestly, the whole
why
point
not?
of doing this is, if you want the inside stuff, if you want to know, especially on this one, but in particular, you wanted to know where we came from, why we do what we do. This is pretty much the one to watch, right?
Yep.
Everything else after this will probably be a lot more specific about certain things. It's either going to be about a guest, or just whatever, something more specific.
Yep.
But we definitely, there's a few more shout outs.
Lots more.
We want to do, like, for sure. Like, there's, I'm on the spot now, like, trying to remember everything, but it's just like ERB Radio, like Claire, Terry, Stephen and Ann, like, they've been playing us, and like, that's fucking amazing. Rich over at Rich on the Radio, like, that guy is dope. I can't wait for his show to start in April. Obviously, like, our core group of fans.
Yeah, we're scheduled to go on with him, right?
Yeah, yes,
yeah, April.
In April. Yes, yeah. I got it written down.
Cool.
Or I'll just text him and find out for sure. Our core group, Wanda, Doreen, Matt, Shannon. I don't even know the guy's first name. The guy's like Rock the Block. I don't know who that guy, what his real name is, but like, he's been super supportive. Joe and Sarah over at SLE Radio. SLE Radio has been another big supporter of us. We're supposed to be scheduling another podcast with them, because after the first one we did, remember, we got into that big topic where we started talking about like new metal, and we're like, we could do a whole fucking podcast about this.
Yeah, for sure. Could.
They're super stoked for that. I think Joe's just finishing up moving, and then we're going to get something on the books for that.
Nice.
But they have been super supportive, really cool people. Fuck, man, who else?
You mentioned Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mentioned Lisa and Matt. Um, uh, so many of them. My best friend Neil. He's been on there. He's tweeted us up. Oh man, I know I'll catch a lot of shit for not mentioning certain people, I guess. But yeah, on
See,
the spot, trying to.
it's good to be the more quiet one, right?
Yeah, I guess
Now I'm
so.
walking away. I'm like, no one's mad at me,
Yeah, but
motherfucker.
you know what? I shout out these people all the time.
It's true. You do.
I
You
do.
do.
On the spot. Yeah, the point is, and this is for a good reason that I can't remember everybody, is because we have a lot of support.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Very fortunate that way. There are so many people who are out there digging our music right now, interacting with us on a daily basis, wanting to hear more. That, yeah, I literally can't remember everybody, and that's a good problem to fucking have, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll, we will for sure remember the rest of you the second we get off this podcast and we walk away, and we'll be
100%.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
But to everybody, you know, big thanks, big shout out to everybody.
Thank you guys for.
Because honestly, you know, we both have day jobs, careers, families, and all this stuff, and this stuff, you know, we really, the only reason why we do it, aside from wanting to have an outlet, is for people to dig it and like it. And if, you know, people are listening, we're going to keep doing it. So
that's what it all boils down to. As long as people still give a shit, then we'll still give a shit.
Yeah.
It's nothing more painful than putting something out there and wanting people to care about it and they don't. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? We're very fortunate that people do. So, I mean, I could give two shits if we have the most streams of all the indie bands or the least.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
I don't care.
I mean, now, however, I will make a big deal each time a song crosses that less than 1,000.
Well, yeah,
Spotify.
Well, and who knew's gonna get there? Who knew is?
I think
pretty much been
humanity's
probably gonna get there first. It had a good head start.
Yeah, I feel like.
But I think we're gonna have several songs over that mark. And I'll pat ourselves on the back for that, and I don't give a shit because to this day we've never played a show. We don't have the social media presence that a lot of other bands have, the marketing that some bands have, just all that sort of thing. Even the following that some.
Yeah, we're all DIY. I mean,
I were super DIY.
Yeah, like our band pictures, even the newest one, like literally did that in my house.
Yeah.
You know, actually, yeah, our first band picture with AJ and Mike were, because we were getting ready to do something live, so we brought them in on that picture.
That was only a year ago, man.
No, I know, but I'm saying that was our first picture, right? And that was in my old house.
Yep.
We're super DIY. I mean, the logo, shout out to T-Bird. He did that for us, that logo. He did the artwork for Home too, actually. Home, which is.
I loved how simple that was. I was just like, I saw it and I was like, yep.
Yeah, well, because he was just like, any ideas of what you want? And I'm like, yeah. And I literally like went on my phone and I like drew that house quick. And I was like, I want something like this, but make it look like you're supposed to make it look like that.
Yeah.
And he did.
It looked good.
But anyway, that brings us to the last little bit here. What's on the books for 2021?
Well, we have a handful of songs on the go right now. I mean, I'm pretty much done on your end. For the most part.
There's an EP worth of songs recorded, ready for you.
I've already started my process that way. I literally, there was a bit of a conversation today between me and Matt talking about the screams. I think there's a couple other people involved in that too. Really digging the screams. I think it was the what happened part in Who Knew. Might have been something else. I can't remember. But I was excited to say that I've got a lot of scream stuff coming up for some of these songs that we're doing. They're it's all in the music that you wrote. It's all very inspiring in that sense. And I've gone through it a million times, and I know what's going to happen. I'm really excited for this. This is also going to be one of those things that when we put it out, it's going to be like, oh, by the way, we do this as well. In a sense where it's like, you think you've got us figured out, and not in a sense where we're going to do something completely different. It's all still going to be 12 years.
I think today. It's enhanced.
I think it is enhanced. It's the next step.
I think those songs that I've sent to you so far have elements from the first 3 EPs.
Yes. I think it has the best elements from the first 3.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And I think people are going to agree with that when this sees the light of day. This is going to be the best thing we've ever done. I feel it's the best thing we've ever done. Mm-hmm. And that's saying something, because I'm really proud of In Times of Madness. And to continuously, like, Dead of Sin is still making waves.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it, man.
Say Goodbye. Say Goodbye had more streams than Dead of Sin a handful of times already. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's something to be said about that. This new EP is going to be something special, and it's definitely the next step.
Unquote. I think that I think it's safe to say it'll be out before the end of the year.
I think so. Yeah,
depends on how
some more Ontario bullshit doesn't happen and get us locked down.
It's not even really about that. Even it's just about where our lives are at and when we can schedule the time. A couple other things we want to do is that acoustic performance. Mm-hmm. Been delayed again. Just again to your point, Ontario bullshit.
Yep.
But we'll get it figured out, and I really want to do a music video, man.
Yeah,
I really want to do a music video.
I know I've had a lot of people talk about that, and it's obviously it's been on our minds for a very long time. Yeah. I would love to say, I mean, we can't guarantee shit. I mean, there's no guarantees in life, but I want to say that whatever becomes the big single off of this new EP, I feel like I want there to be a music video for that.
Yeah, I was feeling the same.
Yeah,
feeling the same.
I mean, I don't give a shit. It doesn't have to be fucking McG directing it, man. It could just be.
No, but I want it to be good. I mean, I don't want the focus to be, oh, this was a budget. You know what I mean? But I do know a guy. His name's Alex, and I don't know him personally, but he does like video stuff for a living. Yeah, I've seen some of his work, and it's really, really good. So,
all right, cool.
Yeah.
No, I definitely want to do that music video. So you heard it here first. Yeah. Want to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, dude.
Yeah, I think that went okay.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of shit, man.
Yeah,
I feel like we do this every time we get together to record anyway. So, and we've always talked about we should maybe just do a podcast one day, and then we went on Chasing Records podcast, and we were like, oh, this is really cool. Maybe we'll steal their idea, and then then we went on a few more, and so it's just fun, man. So
if there's something you and I are both good at, it's fucking talking. So
for sure, more you than me, but
absolutely.
But you get me going. Once you get me going,
that's true.
I have a beer or 2 or 3. Then
we gotta break you in. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have started with
I have a break-in period. Absolutely.
You do.
I have a break-in
period. I'm like fucking green light out of the gate. Here I go.
That is for sure you.
Which is probably why everybody wanted to hear from you this time. And it's true. We should hear from you. And I think
I'm good where I'm at.
Anybody who wants to take the time to listen to this is going to definitely learn some stuff about both of us.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
For our first podcast, this is definitely where we needed to be.
Yeah, this one was just like an introduction.
Yep. This is who we are.
A 2-hour and change introduction, and
to bring you up to speed to where we are today.
Yeah, I think other podcasts will be way more to the point, and
mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be tangents too. That's all part of it, but
I love tangents.
Kind of on one right now. So that being said,
Yeah.
I'm going the fuck to bed
All
right
right.
now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to stop recording this, and yeah, I'll probably talk to you in the morning.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Later, dude.
Bye. Bye.